Kathy's favourite.
Let's get it on.
This is my favourite. But do you get what I'm saying? I know we're having a bit of a laugh with it tonight, but when it comes to music, when it comes to movies, when it comes to social media, to lives, to fashion, everything seems to be aimed at sex. Now, has it crept up on us, or is this not something new? Sarah, what do you reckon? Is this something you've become aware of more?
Well, I think people have always been obsessed with sex. I think it's probably part of the human condition. But I think with the prevalence of social media and the rise of the internet, we can talk about it and post about it and, you know, sort of discuss it in so many more ways than before. So I just think we have more ways of kind of putting it out there and making it sort of a, a shared conversation. But I think we've always been interested in it.
Chris, what do you reckon?
I think, yes, since the advent of social media has just driven sex absolutely mad. I can remember as a kid and the first time hearing Marvin Gaye Sexual Healing and just thinking this is just hilarious. They're saying sexual on the radio. See, and nowadays it does seem to be everywhere. And actually, taking it back to this show, I was trying to put up a thing on social media and I just typed in sex to Google and hit search and then images. I just wanted like an image saying sex.
And you really thought that would be something you could share on social media?
Goodness. That's all I'm saying. The imagery that came up on that thing was just crazy, and it wouldn't have happened all those years ago. But yeah, look here, it doesn't really bother me. But just with having two small kids, I don't want them hearing all that.
I just think
language.
I think that when it becomes like the benchmark for everything, you know, it's not just, say for example, dressing smart. You're a tailor yourself. For so many people now, it's not just looking well, it's looking well and trying to almost attract somebody else. Whether you're married or not, it's just that you have to have that sex appeal. And I just think that there's something kind of dangerous in that, because you lose sight then of what is actually important in life, in a relationship, or just in your daily routine.
Yeah, it's true, and it's worse for girls, I have to admit. The guys actually are pressured by the girls to dress well and look well, but certainly if you just...
Are they?
I think so.
How?
Well, I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of competition goes on, I think, nowadays, that, you know, my boyfriend's better looking than your boyfriend and my boyfriend has a nicer suit than yours. And you know what? See, for me in business, it's absolutely fine. If you want to come and spend lots more money in the next one, that's fine. But I think the pressure is definitely there for the girls. You just have to log on to your Instagram and just see some of the pictures that these girls are putting up nowadays. Yes, okay, it is still there. It's prevalent with the males too, but I think the pressure is definitely on the ladies. And it's unfair. And with me having two girls, I don't want them really growing up with that, and I honestly don't know how it can change. You know, you can't exactly ban it, like, can you?
No, but do you think that the kind of sexualisation is contributing to mental health problems in a way, Sarah? I know that sounds like quite an extreme way to look at it, but when it comes to social media and that attempt to look that airbrushed image that none of us really are up close.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really interesting because they've done some surveys recently with young girls, sort of showing them pictures of what's beautiful, and they're all wanting long hair. So what's come out of it, you know, amongst other things, what's come out of this is the girls all want long, sexy Disney princess length hair. No girls want, you know, these kind of short, cute cuts that we all used to see on girls, on children. So even at such a young age, girls are starting to get this kind of notion.
There's also a skewed view of reality then as well. We've already touched on this slightly, but you know, people are aiming for something that's not really real.
Yeah.
Whether it is in the music you listen to or the movies you go and see or the TV series that you watch, none of it's actual reality. But if we fill our lives with that so much, then it just completely obscures what it is in your head, and then you're always striving for something, Chris, that you simply can't get.
Well, this is true, and particularly, as I say, I come back to the girls. I have met lots of bloggers and social media queens, and the pictures that they put up online, they don't look anything like it whenever you meet them.
Can I say that Chris loves social media and he loves a wee filter as well? So, but that's what I get.
Only wee one.
Yeah, but you do it though.
Yeah.
And it obscures reality again, just that little notch.
And people have time to prep for it. So with social media, you can take 30 pictures, you can do your hair again and change the pose. And I think this kind of movement towards perfection makes it really hard on, you know, the reality for young women especially.
It is pressure. I agree, Sarah, because like even now, when I'm taking a selfie, I'll take about 5 or 6 of them, and then you go through and pick the best one in the best light.
Sarah, I'm going to ask you this. What did he say before we came on air? How many times does he have to charge his phone a day?
3.
3 times
He
a
runs
day.
through 3
I do
battery
3
cycles a day.
So that
I
goes
do
to
2
show.
and I'm on to my 3rd battery, and that's how much I'm on my phone, taking pictures on social media, promoting. And you know what? As I said at the start, I hate that I love it. I really wish that I
It's
that
an
I
addiction.
didn't have it,
But
but
you
it is a
do.
proper addiction. I'm
But
properly addicted.
Let's talk as well about the likes of movies, and that maybe to an extent it is escapism for people, because we've had sort of, I don't want to keep using the sex word because I don't think it's been used that many times in such a short period of time on Radio Ulster ever. But that element of it in movies, it's like an escapism. It's a fantasy land, whether it's a kiss or whatever. It's just that bit of a chance to get away from your normal life. So maybe that's what appeals to people.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think people want this idealized notion of sex. I think everybody wants to kind of aim for that. It's interesting, though, because I think there have been some TV programs that have moved in the opposite direction. Girls, which was really big in the States and all over the world for a number of years. Lena Dunham really had this, push towards almost uncomfortably real sex. So you get some people kind of mixing with that equation. But I mean, most of the time, yeah, it's completely unrealistic.
But some of our lives maybe are, and I'm not saying about mine or yours, but maybe we don't feel that they're that exciting or dull. So when we listen to this almost exotic or erotic music, I can feel myself blushing when I say this in case my mum's listening.
Are you just thinking of Barry White, are you?
But no, I'm really not. But once again, it's just that chance to live away from what is the norm. But then it's when you can't get that line, Chris, between, well, this is just a bit of fun almost, it's just a bit of fantasy, and then this is what your life's meant to be, what you're meant to aim for.
I think our access to pornography has completely changed that. Like this is terrible talking about this. Whenever we're live on air, my goodness, I'm 35 and I'm getting embarrassed talking about it. But whenever you were
don't
younger,
go too far, Chris. It's all right.
Whenever you were younger, you didn't have a mobile phone, you didn't have a computer, you didn't have the internet. So you maybe had a magazine or something like that, okay? Sorry, Mum and Dad. So you maybe had a magazine, and that was, you had still images, and you had, that's really all you had, right?
I don't know where he's going with this, but he's making me nervous. Move back from your mic there. He's got excited. He's nearly swallowing that thing. He's going to pop it.
But literally, the access to pornography nowadays is just crazy. It is just there for, and you can look up and look at anything you want, and some of it's really scary. So does that then put pressure on us as society, that we feel that we have to maybe perform to that level or do these things? It has definitely changed the way people worldwide look at sex, and I think one of the biggest contributors to it is the internet, and it's the access to pornography.
I think the internet definitely got a huge part to play. What about the kind of the gender neutrality movement that we get more of now, especially even this year, Sarah? Do you think is that in a way an answer to this, a reaction to this, where it's trying to maybe right itself, where people are maybe seen more as they should be, as equals, as opposed to being set apart as they've been for many years?
Well, I think, when it comes to sex, I think, again, part of the human condition is we're always going to try to do something new and push the boundaries. And I think because we talk about it so much now and it's so much in the public view, we're looking for something new. I think people instinctively are looking for a new direction and something that's different and radical. And, and I think gender neutrality maybe...
But is this a new direction or a correction, like the way maybe it should have been? And if we didn't, for many years, I think women were seen very much so as objects, and in terms of intellect, they were treated quite badly. So is that just a correction now, where things are kind of getting to where they should have been?
I hope so. I mean, I hope that's the case. But as we've just said a few minutes ago, women also have this extreme pressure these days to look beautiful, to look sexy, and to maintain that into their older years as well. There's a whole different kind of range of expectation now of what you look like in your 60s, 70s, 80s even. I hope you're right. I hope it's a movement towards, more respect for women and more of an equal platform.
Yeah, but just on that, men more recently, again, due to, in my opinion, the internet and social media, men are starting to look after themselves way more than what they did even 10, 15 years ago. Which, yes, Sarah's giving the thumbs up, which is actually, it's great for the girls, actually.
It's great for you and your business.
But it's great for me in business, let me tell you, it's wonderful. But yeah, you go back 15, 20 years ago, after you got past 50, you didn't really care a whole lot. You kind of maybe let it all go. Now, this is a generalisation, of course, right? It's a generalisation. But nowadays, like, I get guys in at 60-year-old, they're going to the gym 2 and 3 times a day, they're eating healthy, they're getting spray tans, they want slim fit suits.
You get men that come into you 50 odd, going to the gym, getting spray tans.
Yes, and I mean, Vinny,
and they want
lots of them.
A slim fit shirt.
Yes.
I can't wear them anymore because...
Your shirts are usually painted on. That one's actually not too bad today.
But painted on. That's
Yes.
awful cheeky of you to say that.
I always thought you'd like shrink wrap into them, like
No.
you jump in and just.
No, I don't know how to react to that now. He's almost embarrassed me. That's terrible.
Look, I always give Vinny a bit of hassle about his shirts, but you look great.
What about then for a very serious element of this, and that is that the lives of children. Now, we've touched on it slightly already, but the fact, as adults, you can say most of us should have the ability to deal with this. We don't all, and for some it's harder than others. But when it soaks into the lives of kids, and that is through social media, what they're allowed to watch, on TV, and even what's in, soaps, and it's not necessarily post-watershed stuff.
I know, and I think you're absolutely right. It's all over the media, and that's almost a point we all just take for granted these days. But you even look at pageants, beauty pageants in the States. There are these little mini pageants for little small girls, but they have the spray tans and they have the makeup and the fake eyelashes and the long curly hair and the sexy outfits. And it's so strange to watch that in this new kind of world we're living in, that's appropriate and that's completely acceptable.
And is it still as popular over there? Because
it is.
Does it happen here?
It's getting more popular.
What about here?
It happens
Not
with
here,
Irish
thank
dancing.
goodness.
Irish dancing's quite. You have to be dressed a certain way, and
It's not
wee
the
bit of
same as
makeup
the
and your hair
sex,
or your
kind of
wig and stuff.
sexualized American.
No, I
pageant.
think yes. I don't think it's certainly sexualized that way, but it's certainly there is that pressure to look, inverted commas, pretty. Me personally, I don't really have a problem with that. I would have a problem with the American model, with that beauty pageant thing, because I think some of the guys over there do go far too far into it and put so much pressure. But over here, looking pretty and dressing up a wee bit, sure, it's part of a kid's life, isn't it?
Right, well, we'll read out. I don't know. I'm not sure if it is, but anyway, we'll come back to this later on if you want, and we will read out some more of your comments. We're streaming the chats on Facebook tonight, so you can go to the BBC Radio Ulster Facebook for that, or you can text us on 81771. Still to come, we have When I Was 25. We also will continue our music and the theme. Want to guess the year so far? You had Thin Lizzy there with The Boys Are Back in Town. All the songs from tonight are from the same year. Any idea? Mm-hmm. Go on, what do you think?
I think it is 1980.
Sarah?
1.
I'm going
81?
to say 77, because that's the year I was born.
19...
But I don't think I'm going to be right.
1977. 81771 on the text if you want to have a guess yourself. Also, still to come tonight, this really just really struck me last week. After a very courageous battle with cancer, the BBC presenter Rachel Bland died last week. Now, Rachel, in case you weren't aware for work, she's a newsreader and a presenter, and she co-hosted a podcast called You, Me and the Big C. And this was all basically about her journey with cancer and trying to break down barriers and make it something that everyone could talk about and that wasn't taboo. So we'll be talking about legacies and what legacies maybe we're going to leave ourselves. Should we be thinking more about that and now not putting it off?
I wanted to leave that imprint of my love around him. So I'm basically writing down my whole life in a book for him. And I just really hope that through his life, he will come back to that book and take comfort from it.
Incredible story from Rachel Bland. We'll hear more from her and we'll talk to our guest later in the programme. That text number again, 81771.